A to Z of phobia, the sum of all fears. Phobia is an irrational fear of something that's unlikely to cause harm. The word itself comes from the Greek word phobos, which means fear or horror. Phobias are a type of anxiety disorder. Phobias are a persistent, intense, and unrealistic fear of a certain object or situation. People with phobia experience intense fear of a certain object or situation. They actively avoid the phobic object or situation, or endure it within intense fear or anxiety. Phobias are different than regular fears because they cause significant distress, possibly interfering with life at home, work, or school. There are 4 major specific phobia categories. A natural environment. Example: astrophobia, hydrophobia. B. Animals. Example: cynophobia, batrachophobia. C. Mutilation or medical treatment. Example: dentophobia, trypanophobia, hemophobia. D. Situation. Example: claustrophobia, aerophobia. Typical symptoms of phobias can include nausea, trembling, rapid heartbeat, feelings of unreality, and being preoccupied with the fear object. The following are A to Z of phobia, the sum of all fears. A. Acluophobia, fear of darkness. Acrophobia, fear of heights. Aerophobia, fear of flying. Algophobia, fear of pain. Agoraphobia, fear of open spaces or crowds. Ichthyophobia, fear of needles or pointed objects. Amexophobia, fear of riding in a car. Androphobia, fear of men. Anginophobia, fear of angina or choking. Anthrophobia, fear of flowers. Anthropophobia, fear of people or society. Aphenphosphobia, fear of being touched. Arachibutyrophobia, fear of peanut butter. Arachnophobia, fear of spiders. Arithmophobia, fear of numbers. Astrophobia, fear of thunder and lightning. Ataxophobia, fear of disorder or untidiness. Atelophobia, fear of imperfection. Atychophobia, fear of failure. Automatonophobia, fear of human-like figures. Autophobia, fear of being alone. B. Bacteriophobia, fear of bacteria. Barophobia, fear of gravity. Bathmophobia, fear of stairs or steep slopes. Batrachophobia, fear of amphibians. Ballonophobia, fear of pins and needles. Bibliophobia, fear of books. Botanophobia, fear of plants. C. Cacophobia, fear of ugliness. Cataglophobia, fear of being ridiculed. Catotrophobia, fear of mirrors. Xenophobia, fear of snow. Chromophobia, fear of colors. Chronometrophobia, fear of clocks. Claustrophobia, fear of confined spaces. Coulrophobia, fear of clowns. Cyberphobia, fear of computers. Cynophobia, fear of dogs. D. Dendrophobia, fear of trees. Dentophobia, fear of dentists. Dermatophobia, fear of houses. Dystaichophobia, fear of accidents. E. Ecophobia, fear of the home. Ailurophobia, fear of cats. Entomophobia, fear of insects. Aphebophobia, fear of teenagers. Equinophobia, fear of horses. G. Gamophobia, fear of marriage. Geniophobia, fear of knees. Glossophobia, fear of speaking in public. Gynophobia, fear of women. H. Happyphobia, fear of touch. Heliophobia, fear of the sun. Hemophobia, fear of blood. Herpetophobia, fear of reptiles. Hippopotamonstrosesquipedaliophobia, fear of long words. Hydrophobia, fear of water. Hypochondria, fear of illness. Iatrophobia, fear of doctors. Insectophobia, fear of insects. K. Koinonophobia, fear of rooms full of people. Compoundophobia, fear of buttons. L. Leucophobia, fear. Of the color white, lilapsophobia, fear of tornadoes and hurricanes. Lochiophobia, fear of childbirth. M. Magiricophobia, fear of cooking. Magiricophobia, fear of cooking. Megalophobia, fear of large things. Melanophobia, fear of the color black. Microphobia, fear of small things. Mysophobia, fear of dirt and germs. N. Necrophobia, fear of death or dead things. Noctophobia, fear of the night. Nosocomophobia, fear of hospitals. Nyctophobia, fear of the dark. O. Obesophobia, fear of gaining weight. Octophobia, fear of the figure 8. Ombrophobia, fear of rain. Ophidiophobia, fear of snakes. Ornithophobia, fear of birds. P. Papyrophobia, fear of paper. Pathophobia, fear of disease. Pedophobia, fear of children. Philematophobia, fear of kissing. Philophobia, fear of love. Phobophobia, fear of phobias. Podophobia, fear of feet. Pagonophobia, fear of beards. Porphyrophobia, fear of the color purple. Pterodophobia, fear of ferns. Pteromorhanophobia, fear of flying. Pyrophobia, fear of fire. S. Samhainophobia, fear of Halloween. Scolionophobia, fear of school. Scoptophobia, fear of being stared at. Selenophobia, fear of the moon. Sociophobia, fear of social evaluation. Somnophobia, fear of sleep. T. Tachophobia, fear of speed. Technophobia, fear of technology. Tonitrophobia, fear of thunder. Trypanophobia, fear of needles or injections. Trypophobia, fear of holes. UZ. Venustrophobia, fear of beautiful women. Verminophobia, fear of germs. W. Wiccophobia, fear of witches and witchcraft. X. Xenophobia, fear of strangers or foreigners. Z. Zoophobia, fear of animals. Phobias can be treated with a combination of therapy and medications. The most effective treatment for specific phobias is psychotherapy called exposure therapy. During this therapy, you work with a psychologist to learn how to anesthetize yourself to the object or situation that you fear. This treatment helps you change your thoughts and feelings about the object or situation, so that you can learn to control your reactions. Phobias can be extremely uncomfortable and challenging, but it is important to remember that you are not alone. Therapy and medication can help. Thank you for listening and watching. Kindly like, share, comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel.